Ladies and gentlemen, it is your man in Japan, Jay Contra, and I am here at the Hard Off in Fukuoka, Shingu. I am very close. This is actually right next door to the Ikea, the only Ikea on the island of Kyushu in the south of Japan, and I'm here at the most, I'd say probably the most impressive Hard Off that we have here in Kyushu. This is about a 2-hour drive from me. This has a very excellent and wide-ranging selection, not only of games, but of consoles as well. And I want to say it's a good store with an asterisk, because the prices are out of control. Like, we've got some crazy stuff, but they're I don't want to say they're bad. They're just kind of all over the place. Like here we've got 2 out-of-the-box Dreamcasts, which are starting to get more expensive. This one does have a nice, beautiful, translucent orange controller. I wish I could get that controller. I wish I could get it loose. This is $50. This is $43 for some reason. I'm guessing they're pricing the controller an extra $10 because they have all the same stuff. So I don't know what's up with that. We've got the Hey You Pikachu, the orange one. This is very rare. This is coming in at $100. Which is, I guess, sort of a fair price. I mean, I bought mine for less, but that was back in the day. We've got two gold N64s here. So we've got the one here. This is $80, maybe, yeah, 80 or so. This is in very fair condition. We've got 2 gold controllers. I believe these are Toys R Us exclusives. So what's weird about Japan is that you find a lot of stores that don't actually mind. They don't price the out-of-box and complete in-box separately. So you've got here, this is $80 for this set that is complete in-box. It might not have the manual, it might not have the instruction manual with it, but you still get basically the same thing with the box. You get the beautiful music in the background, but then you come here and you got the loose one for the same exact price. And so I don't know what the method to their madness is here. They've also got a couple more in-box N64s. They've got this clear light blue one, and they've got the classic black. This one does come with the instruction manual though, which is something that I want to get. I actually don't have a complete in-box N64 yet, much to my shame. And then we come down here to these 2 different N64s. Now what's special about this orange one is that the orange N64 is exclusive to Japan. You can get a black N64 anywhere. But the only difference is, the big difference is that this is $10 more expensive than this one. This is $43. This is going to be about $50, $53 depending on what day it is and how the exchange rate's going. But I guess it's because this orange one, it's got some scrapes on it. The box isn't in A-grade condition. Not that this is much better, yet they're the separate price. So I don't know. This place actually has a bunch of boxed N64s, which is very cool. When we start running out of boxed N64s, that's when we're in real trouble, because we're starting to run out of boxed Dreamcasts, which you used to be able to find those for $10 a dozen. But now, even in this store, with the selection that it has, they don't even have any boxed Dreamcasts anymore. So man, if you want to get a boxed Dreamcast for cheap, you better start looking now. They also have this insane assortment of controllers. They've got the blue Pikachu. Whoop, just dropped that, my bad. We've got the blue Pikachu N64 controller here going for $27. These are very sought after. I don't know if these were actually made separately from the N64 itself. I don't know about that, but then we've got orange one here for $20, and that's compared to like the $15 that you could buy a good stick working N64 controller. We've also, of course, we've got the assortment of N64 games. N64 games have not moved at all. Like the only rare, like I think Resident Evil 2 has kind of moved. It used to be like maybe a $25 game, now it's going for $30. There's also Get or Love, which somehow shot up to be a $200 game for some reason. But I have not seen any movement on any of these games, which is, N64 is one of the first things that I started collecting when I came to Japan, and I should have been collecting Super Famicom, which we'll get to in a moment. But I mean, Sin and Punishment has kind of gone up in value. This is a really great shooter that I still have not played. I bought it, but you can get the box here for about $35, which is a fair price, I would say. I mean, I'd like it to be $25. You've got Smash Brothers here going for $20. You've got Super Mario Twins 64 going for $10. $10 for a complete in-box copy of this? Like, what? Custom Robo is a great import game that I recommend to any of you who are looking for good games that you might not have played for the N64 yet. This is really cool, going for $12. Maybe I can show you some screenshots. It's a cool like arena battler where you can customize your robot and get like cool Gatling guns and fire guns and cool stuff like that. We even got a couple Mega Drive games here, a couple shooters which are really cool. I would get these if I had money, but I do not. See, we've got even more N64 controllers. We got a really good selection, and then we got this cool, wow, Millennium 2000. I wish the plastic white part of it wasn't so yellow, but this is really cool. This is going for, wow, $35 for an. This is probably because it's a special edition, but it's not in that great of a condition, so I would not buy it myself, because you can buy this normal Dreamcast controller going for $10. And see, and what I mean by the prices being out of control here is you've got good prices on N64 stuff. That's not a problem. Even on the controllers, like $15 for an N64 controller is a fair price. But then you've got Sega Saturns going for $50. No way. These should be like $30 at most. I'd pay maybe $40 for one in the box. And we also got a Famicom. Famicom stuff is definitely leveled off. I don't want to say it's started going down in price. But you definitely are starting to see a lot more Famicoms in the box. You're seeing a lot more loose, and even the AV Famicom. This one's really beat up. It's definitely yellowed. That's going for $8. And something that drives me insane, and let's start transitioning over to the other side though. As you see that big open window there? That may look great when, you want to have like a nice open store plan. The only problem is you've got these big open windows here that let in the harsh Japanese sun, and you have this whole aisle of games that you can't really tell it now because it's a really cloudy day, but I was here about, I want to say, maybe a year and a half ago, and you've got these insanely valuable games. You've got Hagane going for $200. You have this Macross game going for about $130. You even got some, I'd say, upper tier Game Boy games going for $10. You got some, you got Pokemon Crystal, Super Mario Land 2. You've got some really high tier games, and you've even got Wild Guns here going for like $200. You have a case that is full of at least, I want to say, conservatively $1,000, maybe going upwards of $2,000, $3,000. You've got these really cool, different multicolored Game Boys. You've got these are original Game Boys here. This one and this one. I don't know if they came out in different colors in America, but at least in Japan they did. You've got this really cool yellow and this really cool green one. They're going for $50 for this one. You've got $70 over here. And you've even got a Game Boy Light. This is insane. You do not find this stuff. Game Boy Light is an exclusive Japanese Game Boy. I hope you can hear me over the guy blowing some dust out of some console that he just got in. But this was a backlit Game Boy that only came out in Japan. And it's in this case. And it's on hot summer days, it's getting blasted by the sun. And that's why if you look over at this cartridge, if you look at this box for Hagane, it's definitely, you can tell it's been sunbeat. Like, it's just like, this is not, honestly, this would be a junk game. Like, I've seen Hagane go in the box at Super Potato for $200, and that's in good condition. But this copy for $200, no way you're gonna sell this. And I know because this has been here, I wanna say for at least 2 years now. No one's gonna buy that for $200, are you kidding me? But this says, wow, and they even have, Batsugun. Batsugun for $150. That actually could be a deal. But then again, it's just the sun. The sun has beaten it to death. I wish I could tell when it came in, but Batsugun for $150, I would buy it for $150, but not when it's probably been bleached by the sun. I just can't do it. But we've got some amazing games here. For some reason, this Indiana Jones game has gone up to like $100 in Japan. This actually is a good price for Turtles in Time. This is going for $40. We've got $30 for Super Contra 3. It's fine. It's not great. R-Type. I've got R-Type 3 going for about, I want to say $50. We've got Super Castlevania 4 going for $40. Seiken Densetsu 3, they're trying to sell for $40 when it's really a $20 game when it's complete in box. Excuse me. Still coming off a little bit of a cold here. And then we do have, at the time of filming this, it's in April. I don't even know when this is going to come out. But we have War of the Gems, which is going for, let me see, it's going for, whoa! That's going for almost $130. This Capcom, was it a fighting game? I can't remember, but that's going for $130. I mean, the American price can't be that much, can it? But we've got Infinity War coming out in Japan in a few weeks. Very excited to see that. And then, so I've been talking about how some of these games are really expensive, but here we've got a copy of Super Mario World, complete in box, going for $8. Which is, I mean, okay, the condition is not, you know, it's not A grade, certainly. But it's definitely, if I didn't already own this, I might wait for a better copy. Then we got Street Fighter 2 Turbo going for $12. No way, that's like a $5 game. Like, Jesus. So when I talk about it's got really great selection here, but the prices, and then we've got like Shin Megami Tensei 2 is going for $120. Like, you've got these Game Boy games that are going for super high, like, not just Game Boy games, because Game Boy games, I've not seen super expensive Game Boy games, but in Japan, I have started to see really expensive Game Boy Advance games. I'm talking about, there was a Double Dragon that came out in Japan. I can't remember what the specific title of it was, but that's going for, I want to say $200, like a $200 Game Boy Advance game. Like, what is happening to collecting? I've started to cool down on my collecting just because I have all of these games that I haven't even played yet. And here we got some, should've brought some water. We've got a bunch of Famicom Disk System games, which there are definitely some rare ones, but I would not be paying $40 for Doki Panic. That's maybe, what, a $10 game at best. If it had the manual, maybe it'd be worth $40. I've also got, like, the case, I'm guessing, does cut some of the UV, but man, you can tell some of them have been baked. And then even here, like, they're all of this stuff is in sealed bags, which I'm sure do protect it a little bit from the sun, but I would be very hesitant to buy basically any of these games simply because they're just going to be bleached. I mean, the lights are already a big enough problem in Japan, but then you come to here and hold on, I'm just seeing some interesting stuff. Here we've got a couple of these are 40 pads for the N64. These have real reinforced GameCube-like joysticks. These are going for $60. That's, I mean, I've seen them cheaper elsewhere, but they're so rare that I think $60 is okay for a going rate. We've also got some, I'd say, upper tier Super Famicom games going, I mean, upper tier in terms of value. You know, your $30, your $60 games, just because they probably can't fit in the other case. We've also got this is interesting because this is the Famicom colored on the right, the Famicom colored Game Boy Advance SP. They're selling it for $160. And I can't, they say it's the Mario, like the Mario version, but I can't tell if they mean that there's like a Mario on the back, if this is a SP that I've never encountered before, but I've seen this specific SP go for only $40. So for special limited editions like that, you gotta kind of look around, because sometimes you'll find a shop that doesn't exactly know what they have on their hands. So I've seen shops price that specific variant at the same price as they would just a normal like pink or a normal blue one over here. So it would go for, you know, $40, and you can get it real cheap. Got, wow, a fat original DS. Oh wow, and it's in the box too. Interesting. I do want to. That might be something to consider next time I come up here. Although that is quite rare because it is so far from where I live. Did I forget anything? Of course, we got the assortment. We got here we've got Ninja Gaiden 3, we've got Final Fantasy 3, Ninja Gaiden 3 is going for $30, Final Fantasy 3 is going for $50, oh my god. If Final Fantasy 3 ever goes for $50, I'm just quitting right then, because holy crap. Wow, we've also got loose Super Game Boy 2s. These are translucent, bluish Super Game Boys that perform all of the functions of a normal Super Game Boy. But as you can see over here, you can connect it with your Game Boy, so you can you know, if you wanted to trade Pokemon, if you're like me and you don't have any friends, you can just buy this Super Game Boy and you can trade between your two Pokemans. We've got a normal Game Boy, $10 though. I mean, I've seen Super Game Boys go into junk, working condition for $1. But this one here is 10. Super Game Boy 2 loose is $20. Excuse me. We've got they've got just such an insane assortment of games. Mega Man X3 going for $20. Super Mario Kart going for $8. Final Fight going for $8. They've got Batman Returns, which is a nice, a quick beat 'em up that you can play through. It's $15. Man, it's just so much that I just don't have the time to check it. I would love to. And see, they've got this copy of Seiken Densetsu 3 going for $20, and then they've got it going down there for $40. Like, I don't, like, do they not check and see what they've priced things before, or are they just gonna kind of let stuff languish there? Sometimes how they price things here is beyond me, and you never know. Sometimes you just find people who are super interested in games that work here, and so they know what they're doing, and so they will check the prices accordingly, and then maybe they go on, they get another job, and then you just got some other guy who doesn't really care and is busier doing other things that just can't be bothered, and so they just price it whatever they feel like. And we've even got we've got a whole assortment of Pokemon games here, going for $16. I remember when Pokemon Go just debuted, these were really expensive, going for maybe, I'd say 25. I think in Tokyo they were going for like $50. You even got Pokemon Yellow going on here for $8. But that has seemed to have cooled down. Wow, Pokemon Gold for $16. Wario Land 3, I love the Wario Lands. And then here we've got Game Boy Wars. If you remember Advance Wars back in the day, this is where, I mean, it's not where it all started, because it started out on the Famicom. The Game Boy Wars 2 is something you don't see every day. $20 might be a good price for it. I'll have to look that up, because I have the first one, but I would love to get the second one. But now, if you're looking for systems, you definitely want to go for the I'd say GameCube, PS2, Xbox, because those, I think, are the next step on what's going up. PlayStation 2 has always been kind of expensive. Sega Saturn and Dreamcast stuff is definitely going up in price. So that's where the movers and shakers are right now, if you're interested in where you can get the most bang for your retro buck. Famicom stuff is starting to go down, but man, they're even selling like PS1s, like original, like the slim PS1 for $50. That's got to be a this store thing, because I know I've seen them cheaper elsewhere. So that's kind of this store has always been kind of interesting to me. Whenever if I ever come up to Ikea, I always try and stop by here, as long as I'm not bothering someone else. But for now, I think that's it. What my pickups for today are these like rally games that came out for the N64. I never see these anywhere else. And so this means I've only got, after these 2 games, I will only have 3 more N64 games that I have to find before I have a complete Japanese N64 set. So I wanted to share that milestone with you. I'm 3 away, and I hope that this has been very informative. If you ever come out to Fukuoka, which is a great city, I love Fukuoka. If you're in Japan, checking out the Hard Off Shingu store is, you know, it's definitely worth a visit. Not necessarily a buy if you're looking for the deal of the century, but it's got a good selection, so it's worth checking out. Now I'm repeating myself, so I'm gonna call it here. I've been Jay Contra, coming to you from Shingu in Fukuoka, Japan, saying thanks for watching, see you next time, and mahalo.